Okay guys, this is how you heal your inner child. Take notes. Okay, Mom, thank you so much for your help. This is crazy, but I actually have to record though. I appreciate it, but this is too much.
Wait, why would you say that? I mean, or at least were you gonna tell them about the fight we just had a couple days ago?
Why do you even have to say stuff like that? It's not even that serious.
Well, I mean, if it's that kind of video, then we're being honest, right?
Oh my gosh. But for real, y'all, just look at us. Me on this side about to teach you how to mend your relationship with your family, and you on the other side in a situation that you didn't even ask for in the first place. Trust me, babe, I understand that all too well. And you would think that for them, shouldn't they have looked up, I don't know, maybe how to be a good parent or how to treat my child right? I feel like that would have been the perfect way to avoid getting here in the first place. And look, it is literally so hard to forget that there are elders, right? Like, we literally came from these people. So where is their initiative to treat themselves better so they can treat you better instead of treating you how the world treated them? You get it? Look, coming from someone who's had a complete 360 with my parents at just 20 years old, I'm here to teach you the steps that's actually needed to help you repair your relationship with your family and how to actually forgive your parents for how they have or haven't been to you. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more uplifting videos like this one. Please make sure to turn on your post notifications so you never miss a beat, and comment down below any tips that you actually recommend and if this video actually helped you out. As y'all can see, I respond to everyone, so I look forward to connecting with you guys soon. Welcome to Hosted by Kamela. Let's get into it. Oh, I'm so bored and I just want to be entertained.
Well, what about Earth, Your Highness? It's always crazy down there.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
But, Your Highness, don't we have more important things to do? Shh, be quiet. I love this show.
Okay, my loves, so first of all, let's take it back to the basics. In order to repair your relationship with your parents, you have to understand that they are humans first. Listen, maybe consider the fact that they've been inadequate parents because they feel inadequate as people. And it makes sense because before they were forced to play the role of mommy and daddy, they were Linda and Bob. Just two people who decided to have sex, created a life, brought you here against your will, how dare they, and then have just been winging it ever since. So when you think of it from that perspective, I mean, you can't help to have a little bit more compassion. Where was the healing? Where was the acknowledging that they're kind of bad people, that they have bad ways, whatever it is? I think I was maybe about 12 or 13 when I came to the awareness that, wow, these are human beings first. And that I really didn't know their story as the man and the woman that came together. Think about it. Do you know your mother's story as a woman? Who were the women before her and how did they treat themselves and treat each other? Same thing applies for your dad. Listen, y'all, we are all on a big stage. This is a huge play and we're all acting accordingly to a script. How was their script written and how are they acting it out? Hey, y'all, I'm just getting started. The next lessons are actually a very hard pill to swallow, so I hope that helped, but let's keep going. Okay, so after you sit with the fact that your parents are just ordinary people who are doing their best, I need you guys to hear me loud and clear. Next, I'm gonna need you to let go of wanting them to understand you. I know this is one of the hardest things on the list because I feel like it's human nature to want to be understood, and it's a crazy, devastating hit when the people who we literally came from can't see who we are. Like, I'm literally half of you and half of you. What isn't connecting? What can't you see or what can't you accept? Well, I'm gonna break down exactly why that is. Your parents can't understand you because you are the part of them that they run away from. Just let that sit. I need you to think of the possibility that you came into this bloodline, into this family, as the parts of your parents that need healing. I feel like some things are starting to click now, but let me give you an example. Let's say that for some reason, your dad hates your dreams of becoming a painter, right? He literally brings you down, talks shit about how you'll end up broke and in the streets and how your art won't sell, whatever, how it's a lazy career, whatever they pull out of their butt. But maybe deep down inside, he suppresses his creativity because he's too ashamed to be vulnerable and expressive. So of course, all the nitpicking and the negative comments and the doubt that they're placing onto you is what he has within him. And when you think about it that way, it starts to make so much sense about why your relationship with your parents is so rocky. Maybe you represent all of your parents' wannabes, or you have the traits that your parents maybe desire in other people, or that they hate within themselves. You are just a reflection and a constant reminder of who they aren't, or who they want to be. My point is that you will never be understood by people who go out of their way to misunderstand themselves. They're denying themselves of self. So again, to see that actual reflection, that physical manifestation, that's a trigger. That is a trigger. But it isn't your fault. And I want you to understand that it's not personal. So please see yourself as a separate entity apart from your parents. You are you. Back to lesson number 1, they are human too, okay? So please prioritize understanding yourself so you can get more clarity on why your people literally deny themselves, okay? You are not a failure. You are doing just fine as you are where you are in life. All that tension is not about you, I promise. And that actually brings me into our next lesson, which is to observe their delusion, right? And don't be a part of it. You see, a part of any healing process is going to be rough because you're actually doing the work to make a change. And who said your parents actually want a good relationship with you? Hello, this may be you overextending yourself, but I'm going to teach you how it doesn't have to be. So take this lesson from a calm point of view. To observe is to notice, and then analyze. Plus, the observer in the room is always the most silent because sometimes the words or feelings that we have can be louder than what actually needs to be understood. Look, I'm going to give a universal example, right? So parents have this unbelievable concocted thought that because they gave you clothes, made eye contact with you a few times, and made sure that you didn't starve to death in the corner, that their parent of the year is this entitlement that they feel that because they provided for you, then anything else negative after that is your fault. I know we've heard it 1,000 times before. So let's say that you actually get in an argument about that, right? Maybe feeling like your parents didn't do enough for you. They didn't love you the way that you needed them to, or they abandoned you, whatever it is. Mind you, please remember, you're talking to a person who is so delusional that they think that allowing you not to die is a flex. Or is it? Wait. Okay, but whatever your situation is, instead of going back and forth with them, maybe observe their behavior in that moment, regardless of if they're cursing you out or whatever it is. In those times, practice self-control. Simply watch them and walk away. Don't internalize any insults. Don't take anything personally. I promise this very practice will give you so much peace of mind because I've realized that in observing, I can't say that I've had an argument because it wasn't an argument. Instead, this crazy person was screaming at me and I remained calm and was able to process the real reason why they acted like that in the first place. So be the winner. The observer has nothing to lose in the situation because they have no anger to give. Regardless of how you feel, I know it's going to be so hard to actually stand down. But once you get the hang of it, it actually becomes empowering. And please, I understand all relationships are different, right? What we're going through is subjective. And especially if your parents may be physically abusive, I recognize that staying calm in that situation just won't work. So just try to observe when you can and when you're understandably not in danger. And for any verbal altercation, I promise this will work. Just in general, I hate that I have to put it this way, but people feel so dumb after they've turned up and have gotten nothing out of you. I can count on 5,000 hands how many times I've been in a position with someone who was so loud and angry, literally forehead veins popping out crisscross, and I just sat there and let them ride. Save yourself the pain, save yourself the embarrassment, and observe your parents' behavior instead of engaging in it. Are you guys liking these tips so far? I hope I'm doing a good job. Please let me know down in the comments below if you actually agreed or disagreed with being the observer with your parents. I would love to hear what you think. Okay guys, moving on, I'm gonna need you to be the bigger person so you can be acknowledged as the little guy. So what does that actually mean? Look, the sad truth is that some people are so blinded by how they treat others, it literally takes for them to see somebody take accountability so they can feel comfortable enough to do it as well. Think of it as monkey see, monkey do. Listen, and your parents can be dead wrong, but I've noticed that this is the only way to actually get through to people who are nuts. Like, I promise. This shows that you actually took time to take the initiative to maybe let your guard down and actually process where you went wrong, no matter how valid you are. I repeat, you were right to react to how badly they treated you, or maybe you just could have been more sensitive to your parents' pain. Whatever it is, maybe you just kissed your teeth and rolled your eyes. I feel like by taking accountability for your reactions, that's what makes them see you as the little guy. Because technically you are the victim. And I use that term very loosely, as you guys know from my very first YouTube video. But in taking accountability first, it kind of creates that AA meeting effect. Like, hi guys, my name is Kamela and I'm an alcoholic. And now everyone else around you who are clearly struggling with the same problem just feel more comfortable admitting, yeah, I'm an alcoholic too. I hate to say this, but it's kind of like a mind game. If you want to be heard, I guess there's just a certain formula to it. And while being the big guy sucks, again, just think of it from the perspective of they are so blinded by what they do until they see somebody else admitting that they're wrong, then I promise eventually they'll come around. Now, this is such a beautiful segue into the next lesson because I just have an amazing story for you guys. So I need you to don't listen to your brain, but instead listen to your heart. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Soft White Underbelly, but he's a guy named Mark who goes around Skid Row just interviewing outcasts. And in this one episode, he had one gangbanger who went down this terrible life path because at the end of the day, he was so trusting in his brain's choices, even though he was making trash decisions. And it all stemmed from him not being able to trust his parents at such a young age. Eventually, he had to bring his mom's friend to church, and there's when he had a conversation with the pastor. And the one thing that the pastor really said to him was, "How's your relationship with your dad?" The guy said, "Well, I hate him." And even though he has every single right to, now we're talking about the difference between logic and love. So the pastor said, I'm gonna need you to take your dad out for lunch and apologize to him. Now mind you, again, this is an abused child who just happened to live the life down a wrong path because, well, that's what he was taught. But again, just like the last lesson, in dropping your guard, and this time instead of listening to your brain, listening to your heart, the second he took his dad to lunch and had that honest conversation about just how much he hated him for all that he's done to him, and for actually having that hate towards his own parent, from that point on, they were able to heal beautifully. The beauty in that story is just understanding, hell yeah, I'm supposed to be mad. Absolutely, it makes perfect sense. But to actually see a real change in behavior and in patterns, in any conflict, someone has to stand down. That's what the heart wants to do. The heart doesn't want to be constantly mad and resentful and angry all the time. You feel empty, you feel lonely. I can imagine how you feel right now. But I'm telling you, learn from that guy's story. Hell, I did. Also, tell yourself that you're entitled to a better reality. Life does not have to be so tight-lipped and angry all the time. Stop caring about being right. It's because you're right that you should do the right thing. Are y'all following me? I know this whole journey could feel like such a tornado, but It'll get better. You're already taking such beautiful steps by watching this in the first place. And the last lesson that I want to share with you guys that really helped me out is be willing to hurt. A lot of the times we run away from the conversations and the moments, especially with loved ones, that would just break us. I mean, think about it. In all the ways that your parents have affected you, can it get any worse? And even if it can, just appreciate where you're at right now. Listen, in any conflict, everybody is so delicate, right? Tick, tick, boom, that pissed you off. Now we're really going at it. Now we're stacking the reasons to be mad at each other. Now both people pointing the finger and can't even pinpoint how it started in the first place. But I feel like in letting all that go, right, all that tension, and being willing to just collapse into your mother's arms, to just break down and to sit with the pain of where you guys are at, your you mom will turn into I love you mom. Because look at what you guys have in common. The pain. You know, did you ever take the time to consider that you are a blessing to your family? You were the only being strong enough, capable enough, willing enough to go through what you went through and still have the heart to want to make it better. You're a magician. You're better than the rest. You make miracles happen. I believe in you. Family issues are the worst because they hurt the worst. It's all you know. It's why you have the flaws that you have. I'm so proud of you, like I say in every single video. I'm sure I sound like a broken record, but for even acknowledging like, okay, enough is enough. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm literally only 20 years old, but once I was 18, I hit a point where if my parents weren't going to help themselves, I was going to help them. Because at the end of the day, I'm changing my reality as well. So I really hope that the tips that I had today actually helped you guys out. And again, let me know in the comments what you have done and what has worked for you, or if something hasn't worked for you. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. I love you guys so much, and thank you.